It is day 3 at Radio Row ahead of Super Bowl 60 this weekend between New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks. talkSPORT will have a live in-stadium commentary from the Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, and someone who is part of our team for the showpiece joins us now. He probably knows I'm a huge NFL fan, so it gives me great pleasure to welcome to the show former New England Patriots offensive lineman Ross Tucker. Hello, Ross. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you guys doing?
I like your setup. They've gone over the top with the stuff they've put on the table, haven't they? They've really taken a long time to set that up.
I like it. I listen. It gives it that little extra touch. There's some jerseys behind me. I'm fired up for Sunday night, man. I'm calling the game with Will Gavin. It's going to be electric. My first Super Bowl ever as a color commentator. So anybody driving around from 11:30 p.m. to 3 a.m., you got to make sure you listen to talkSPORT. We're going to be dynamic.
Who do you make the favourites then for the Super Bowl?
Yeah, the Seahawks. I mean, I think they're the better team. I think if they played 10 times, they'd probably win 7 or 8 of them. But as we've seen in all sports, and especially in the NFL, all that matters is what happens in that one game. And turnovers are always kind of the great equalizer in the sport of American football. So I think Vrabel is just a star coach for the Patriots. Former teammate of mine, former opponent, went against him a bunch when I played for the Buffalo Bills. Then I went to New England and we were teammates. And I guess I'm not surprised he's a coach. I don't know that I thought he would become a coach, but he's just done a terrific, terrific job. So I have a lot of faith that he's going to keep it close. So what I've been saying is on the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, I'm going to pick the Seahawks to beat the Patriots, but I think it's a lower scoring, let's call it 20-17 type of game, which means for those of you that are so inclined, and maybe you listen or watch the Even Money Betting Podcast, I like the Patriots and the point. I think the Patriots stay within those 4.5 points.
Well, Ross, listen, the last time that Seattle were in the Super Bowl, it had one of the greatest endings probably of any Super Bowl with the Malcolm Butler interception. Now, do you think that will still be in the minds? I know it's different players, different roster, different coach, but do you still think 2015 was the last time they were there? Do you think the players and the franchise will still remember the way that Super Bowl ended?
Great question.
I think the GM remembers it. I think the owner remembers it. I don't think anybody else cares. And I'm actually shocked that we have not seen that play more often this week. I would have thought I've seen it a million times by this point.
I mentioned it's day 3 of Radio Row. I think it's a wonderful idea what you guys do out there ahead of the Super Bowl. It's, one of the biggest events in the world of sport. Obviously, the World Cup, I think most people will put above it. But still, to have so many ex-players wandering about and so many famous faces, it really is something I think we should do over here ahead of maybe like an FA Cup final or even a Champions League final. Does it get bigger and better every time you're there for that?
Well, so the opening night was Monday night, and that was probably the deadest opening night I can remember in a long time. Now, what's interesting about the Super Bowl this year is it's in the Bay Area. So the Bay Area out here on the West Coast of the United States, it's San Francisco, it's Oakland, it's San Jose. The game itself is in Santa Clara. So I think they're trying to get all of these cities involved. So opening night was down in San Jose, which is over an hour shuttle ride away. I think some people just thought, I'm not going. There's not that many big names in terms of players in the Super Bowl. It's kind of wild, actually, because I put out a poll on my podcast handle, @RossTuckerPod, who's the most well-known person associated with either one of these teams in the Super Bowl. You know who got first place? Robert Kraft, the owner for the Patriots. And second place was Mike Vrabel, the head coach for the Patriots. I can't remember. Maybe you guys have an example in football, but it's rare for the owner and the head coach to get top billing over either one of the quarterbacks. But that's kind of, in terms of name recognition, that's where it's at. Radio Row is cool, though, because it's like I get to see all these people that I follow on social media and only see on social media. This is the one time a year I get to get together with them, and it's kind of like a convention. It's kind of like a football media convention.
Yeah. Ross, listen, I'm under instruction to let you go in about 40 seconds time. Before I do, you mentioned at the top of our chat Will Gavin. Now, I understand, mainly from a lot of posts from Will Gavin, that he's a bit of a legend out there, that you guys are loving his commentary. Is that right?
There's no question. I don't know why, but Americans, with Will's accent and how excited he gets, it just it engenders a lot of pride, I think, and entertainment to hear it. Christian McCaffrey is one of the best players in the NFL, and he told Will that more people brought up his call of McCaffrey's touchdown against the Eagles on a trick play than the play itself. More people say, oh, dude, you got to listen to this British guy. You got to listen to this British guy calling your game. So it's a little bit of a novelty, but I think we have so much pride in American football that it gets us excited when you see people in other countries getting as excited about our sport as we do.
Ross, I'll tell you a secret. Don't mention this, but he's American. He just puts that on. Thanks so much for coming on, Ross. Enjoy it.
My pleasure. Great to talk with you guys. Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure as well. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks, pal. There you go. That was a look ahead to the Super Bowl on talkSPORT, brought to you by 5. Don't forget that you can watch the Super Bowl for free on 5 Sunday, the 8th of Feb.